right. Welcome to everyone. And I want to introduce you to my good friend, Trina Glines, who has always, since we met, 19 years ago, maybe?
Mhm. Yeah.
Been a huge inspiration to me. And we just really have a lot of fun, a lot of connections on a lot of different levels. And I've just learned so much from you, Trina, throughout the years. And one of the things that I've loved is watching your journey as of late, as you've connected to what I already knew was your passion. And I think you did too. But anyway, you really connected to it, and you've really taken on this vision and mission to change lives. And I would love for you to just tell us a little bit about you, what your passion is, and your story about discovering that. So it's really broad, so pretty much you can just do whatever you would like.
All right. Okay. So yes, I am a wife first of 26 years, and I have 5 children, a daughter and 4 sons, 2 of which are married and one that's going to be getting married. So my life is always busy, always changing. I am a grandma, and I think Carrie agrees with me. That's the best calling ever in life. And that is awesome. It's a tender mercy, that little grandson of mine. So I have my journey as of late was probably inspired a little bit by a journey I kind of lived throughout these 26 years. I've been kind of a natural teacher. I've taught in different platforms with mainly youth, but I have taught adults as well, as far as like parenting classes and learning how to better themselves. But I've always been kind of motivational to youth as well. And the last several years, I've struggled with wanting to move forward in that platform. And at the same time, we'd hit some really hard places in our personal life and in our relationship, with some financial struggles and just life, right? Life hits you and comes at you fast sometimes. And that's kind of where I was finding myself going in and out of, life, which Carrie knows all about that because she walked the journey completely with me. And through that process of me pulling myself away a little bit from my husband and creating myself what I called was my safety box. It's where I went if I ever got my feelings hurt, if I ever felt like I wasn't being heard. That was my place. And Carrie, I think you resonated with me when I would text you and say, hey, I'm in my box. You knew exactly what I was talking about, right?
Yeah, I did.
So anyway, I kept finding myself going into that box more and more. And I knew it wasn't healthy. I knew it wasn't good. My husband hated my box. He couldn't figure out why I wasn't staying emotionally connected. So I went and saw a therapist and asked him for help to get me out of my box, which I told him it was called a safety box. And he kindly told me, Trina, that is not your safety box. That is your unsafe box. And that really burst my bubble. I was quite upset about that. I liked my box. I was comfortable in my box. And he was like, no, that's your unsafe place and it is not healthy. And so he helped teach me some really valuable skills related to my blueprint in being able to pull myself out of that box. And I was really grateful for that. But because life hits you and hits you fast, I had to stop going to therapy because we had other big expenses that came up that I needed to put my money elsewhere. And one day I found myself in my box again. But I think I'd been there for a little while before I actually acknowledged it. And, my whole marriage, I prided myself in the fact that I've had a pretty good marriage, that I tried to put my marriage first. Even as young, newly married, I always made sure we went on dates. I always made sure we got nights away. I really made those a priority. And so it was kind of new for me throughout my marriage. When I'd go in my box, it was really upsetting to me that I wasn't feeling heard, that I was feeling kind of alone. I'm like, why am I here? Because I have a good marriage. I have a really, really good husband. Why do I keep finding myself in my box? And so it was really infuriating to me, actually. And then that day that I realized I was in my box, and it was actually a really bad one. And I can remember the moment. I was standing in my closet, actually more of the leaning over position with my hand up against the wall, actually trying to catch my breath and thinking in my mind, Is this it? Is this going to be my constant battle? Is there anything better? Is my marriage going to be better? Is this it? And at that moment, I text you and I just said, hey, I need help. And you happen to say, Trina, you need to go read this book. And you told me about this parenting book, or about this marriage book. And so I bought the download, I bought the Audible, and I also bought the paper version. I was in a desperate moment, and I bought all three and started reading it. And I've read marriage books, off and on our whole marriage. But for some reason at this time, this one hit me differently. And I started to perceive things differently from my husband's point of view. I started realizing my husband never had intent to ever hurt me. He never intended for me not to feel heard. He never intended me to feel alone. That it was my perception and it was my inability to communicate to him in a language that resonates with him. So I was almost done with that book, and you texted me again. You were at some conference of some sort, and you texted me a picture of this book and said, this is your next book you need to read. Well, I ordered it immediately because I was already feeling the changes from the first one, and that book changed my life. And about halfway through that book, I had this overwhelming feeling, I have to teach this. I have to teach this to women. Women don't know this. They don't know this. And I got so excited, and I owe it to you, Carrie, a huge portion of this, because I remember somewhere in that process, I wish I would have been better at journaling at the time so I could have had it written down. I could tell you exactly when it was. I was doing that, looking inward. What do I want to do? The teaching platform I'm teaching on, I'm really not loving. I'm not passionate about it. And so I text you one day. I was doing like a thought-provoking paper thing I got off of online, and it says, what is your passion? And so I text you, I'm like, Carrie, what is my passion? And you said, your marriage. And I'm like, how can you say that after you've watched me go through the last little while? But it was true. And it's something I was always passionate about, always sharing with my friends, saying, you need to make sure you do this, you make sure you do that. And then life hit me. And I did lose focus of that passion. And I did let imperfections in my husband and imperfections in myself get in the way and put me inside that box. And so because of that material I was reading, I have broken through that box completely. And I mean, there's moments I might feel a little woggle, but now I have the tools to take it down really quick. It's amazing. It's amazing. So as soon as I had that impression, I needed to teach this to women, I actually haven't stopped since then. I just kept going in forward motion. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do a book club. Okay, I'm going to, put a beta group together, and I'm going to teach these ladies. And it's just snowballed, and it's been the greatest journey. Watching these women have these aha moments that I went through is the biggest payday I've ever had. It's amazing. And I owe it to Carrie. I owe it to you for you reawakening, you reminding me of what that passion was that I know I had and I have had. That's kind of it in a nutshell.
Yeah, it's been so fun for me to watch the whole journey. I've always been fascinated with people. I'm an observer of people. And I always knew, like you said, that marriage was your passion. Because even when you're teaching parenting classes that I took from you, your focus was on your marriage. And you always were good at it. And so I remember always like cheerleading you, like, remember. And when you finally connected, and allowed yourself to believe it, like to really allow yourself to not only know that's your passion, but to run with it, like you have accelerated, like out of the box, like not looking back. And it's been so much fun. And I've noticed that happen with so many people, including myself. Once you get to the point, like we want to grow, we want to feel good, we want to love our life, and we have all these things that keep us from doing it. Their voices or circumstances are not taking charge of our own lives. But as soon as we do, I've done the same thing. As soon as I'm like, okay, I'm ready now, you just like start to run, and it's so exciting. And So I've loved watching you in what you've created from this aha, from this moment, from this passion you've rediscovered. So I would love for you to tell everyone what it is that you do. How do you help women?
All right. Well, and an important piece of that is as well, I learned part of me going in that box was I gave everything away. I was giving everything I had to everybody else, but I was never filling myself. And there's a healthy balance there. For sure, you can get out of balance the other way and be more consumed with yourself, and that's not healthy either. But I was definitely the one that was like, I gave everything away, and so I wasn't taking care of myself so that I could be a healthy individual. And you often pointed that out to me in whatever way you could try. You often were pointing that out to me. And so that's another thing I work with women is, connecting to their femininity, connecting to who they are, making sure they're filling their wells, because we are adapters. We do adapt and we give and we give and we give, and we have nothing left to give, but we still keep giving. And we exhaust ourselves, and then nervous breakdown come, and great big boxes we put ourselves come. And so it's really important that we learn as women to embrace the power that's within us if we choose to nurture it, if we choose to give it attention and be kind to yourself. Really, it's being kind to yourself. But so with women, what I do is I have a couple of things that I do right now. I do one-on-one mentoring. You can go to my website and send me a message, and we can communicate back and forth that way and see if it works for them. But I do one-on-one mentoring and have a program set up for that. And then I also, I'm still working on the back office, but I have already implemented this where I have a monthly membership called Upkeep 3. And basically it stands for my motto of upkeeping: love your man, be adored, and create your story. And through Upkeep, it's awesome. So we have a group of like-minded women that want to work on strengthening their marriages. But life gets in the way so often, right? And we're so busy going and doing the kids' things and going and taking care of all the outside influences that are on our marriage at all times, instead of looking inward and making sure we're doing just those little things that help strengthening your marriage. So with Upkeep 3, I create the program, I create the monthly challenges. So the work's done for you. The learning curve is done. I'm doing all of the research, finding the best books and content to be able to share with you. We have a book that we read every month that, is going to help you. The books I pick are going to help you understand men, help you understand relationships, and also help you understand yourself, connect to yourself. I'm also interviewing a professional every month that I will release to the women. And, that's a great value. I go after, therapists and authors, and even I'm looking forward. I've got a few people in mind, couples in mind, that I want to interview them that have been married for, 50 plus years, and they seem to have the magic ticket. So what better way to learn than to learn straight from people who have had that beautiful success. So there's that, and you're part of a private Facebook group, and we divide people up into teams. So you have a group leader that makes you feel like it's a little, as we grow and get bigger, it'll be more of an intimate with your group to, encourage you to do your challenges. We have goals, monthly goals. We have long-term goals. I encourage everybody to live by the 3 7s, which is go on a date every 7 days, and every 7 weeks go on at least an overnighter, and every 7 months go on a 5-day plus vacation. So we kind of help the ladies plan that out, hold them accountable, do activities that's going to prepare you for, going like this month right now. Well, this month coming in April, I've asked the ladies, okay, you're to go out and buy something feminine for you to take on your weekend away in May, and so just little creative, nothing that's like huge and dramatic and dynamic, but it's the little things that we forget to do because we're so busy in life. So with Upkeep 3, I'm still getting all the back office part of it done. So if anybody's ever interested in that, until I get my specific website up for that, they can just contact me at trinaglines.com and say, hey, I'm interested in Upkeep 3, and I can get them enrolled that way. We're hoping to have the platform all out and ready within the next couple of weeks. But I've got, a lot of women in there right now. We just had a webinar before I met with you. We do live webinars. I do live Facebook with them to do questions and answers. At the end of the month, we do a live webinar to go over the book we've read and discuss. And it's just empowering for these women to learn that they're not alone. Learn that it's normal that they did not know the language of men because nobody teaches it. And that there's power in us sharing what works for you and what works, and this didn't work for you. And just having that like-minded community is so beneficial. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. We're also getting ready to roll out a online program. So that will eventually be available, that they can just purchase an online program, go through the program. I'm not quite sure how many weeks. It's going to be somewhere around 8 weeks, where it will be a video every week that they will watch, and, guided thinking worksheets that they will work on. That's going to be really powerful. I'm hoping to get it out to the masses. So I'm excited about that.
Fantastic. And just to validate, I guess, your program, which I don't think needs to be done because everything you've said has been amazing. I've worked with people that I've referred to you, and I don't know their journey because you keep things confidential, but I've seen the transformation, and they have all thanked me as the few that I've referred for referring me to you. So that speaks volumes to what it is that you do. Has a lot to do with that natural passion that you have and your drive and just who you are. So anyway, I totally recommend Trina Glines for this self-development, this femininity connection, and for strengthening marriages. Yeah, it's just a valuable program. She's amazing to be friends with anyway. So for no other reason, get to know Trina Glines. She's really fantastic. So thank you so much. Do you have anything else you want to say before we end?
The only thing I would say is don't settle. Don't settle. I see so many women that have just settled and thought this is it. And that's kind of what I had done when I found myself in my box that one last time. I was settling and like, is this it? And don't settle. You are meant to have happiness in your marriage. It's not going to be perfect because you've got two imperfect people coming together, trying to create a life together. There's a lot of moving parts, so it's not going to be perfect, but it's meant to have happiness. And if you're not feeling the happiness you desire in your marriage, even if it's just a little bit, it can always be better. And there isn't a better investment than that in your marriage, because you are honestly creating a heritage for all those that are coming after you, for your children, your grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. And we really do leave a lasting footprint in this life. And so I just encourage women, you don't need to settle. You can choose to find a better way. And it's very empowering, and it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing.
It is amazing. You know what? A lot of times, because we strive for perfection and we know we can't have it, we stay stuck and we settle. And first of all, perfection, if you think about it, how boring would that be?
Yeah.
And staying stuck is frustrating and not fun. So the joy is in the journey. And yeah, join the journey and have someone guide you along. And the other thing, it just came to my mind, if anybody is struggling for a reason to not settle, like validation, permission maybe, from my own perspective, my own story, do it for your kids or for your daughters or for the people that you love. Because for me, when I was serving from nothing, what I was serving to my daughters was an example of the necessity when you become a wife and a mom that you stop being a person. That's what I was teaching my daughters, and it wasn't serving anybody. It was actually damaging what I was hoping to build up. So for any other reason, do it for your daughters.
Yeah, I love that. I love that.
So,
for sure.
Yeah. And then you'll realize it's okay to do it for myself too.
Yeah. Sometimes we do need that, like you said, that someone else to do it for, because we don't do stuff for ourselves as women. We don't. And so it's like, okay, I'll do it for them. And then as you start going, you're going to learn that it's okay to do some things for yourself. We are meant to have happiness in this life. We really are. And we're not meant to give everything we have away without filling ourselves back up. And, you know, the world is masculating women all day long. They're making us take on more accountability. We have all this accountability on our shoulders. And accountability is a masculine trait. It takes testosterone. And I am very much masculine. I take on a lot of masculine traits. That's kind of just where I kind of fall in the line. And I saw how that was actually damaging me because I was not connecting to my feminine. And that's the person my husband fell in love with. And so through this process and my journey of learning and studying, and as I've worked consciously, because it's subconsciously, you just go back to what the normal was, work consciously to connect to the feminine. Oh my gosh, it's so much better. I'm so happy, so much happier. He's so much happier. And it's not every day. I'm not connected to that feminine every day, every moment. No, I have to okay, I'm going on a date. We're going out tonight. Breathe. Okay, what am I thinking about? You know, and I take myself through this transition process to where when we get out and we go, I can sit and I can laugh and I can talk to him about different things and not take offense to things I think he's saying, because now I know the language of men and I understand. And if there's something I question, I actually question it instead of assuming.
Nice.
It's powerful. It's life changing. It's changed my life. And Carrie, you can validate that. You've seen it. You walked the journey with me. It has changed my life. And the ladies I have worked with, several of them, 2 in particular, were done. They were done. I was a last resort. I was a little nervous. I'll be honest with you. I was a little nervous. And they had been to lots of counseling. And they said, if this doesn't work, I'm done. And they're both together still with their spouses. And, you know, the one I stay updated with a lot more than the other. And she's so happy. Is her life perfect? No, it's not perfect. But that's not what life's about. Life's about going through challenges, learning, growing, going through challenges, learning, growing, becoming better. So you're right, with our expectations of perfection, that's unrealistic. But happiness is not unrealistic at all.
No,
at all.
It's not. It's not. Yay, that's so exciting to hear, right?
Yes.
It's freeing. You can see it in both of us, hopefully, and hear it in both of us. Do it. Be happy.
Yes, you can do it. You do it. For sure.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Trina. It's been...
You are welcome.